Reginald Samples and the Skyline Raiders finished the 9-5A season at 7-3, 5-1 in the district. The Raiders are no stranger to the high school postseason. In fact, it was in the first round in 2004 that the Berkner Rams closed the door on their season. On the other side of the field, Jim Ledford and the Berkner Rams finished at 10-0 in District 10-5A, the first undefeated season the Rams have had in the school's 36-year history. Tonight in Class 5A Region 2, they meet again, each with the dream of chasing a state championship. Hi, everyone. I'm Jeff Tokar, coming to you from the Boneyard, Ram Wildcat Stadium, where the Skyline Raiders meet the Berkner Rams in high school playoff football. And by my side, with that vivid color commentary, is Herman Graham Chapman.
Jeff, it's another one of those runs to the playoffs for these two teams. Skyline is a regular participant in the playoffs in Texas. This is Division I. It's a shorter chase to the title for the teams that are competing in Division I. They're 2 games and they're in the regional final. So a lot of excitement here tonight for both teams. You know, these kids are really ready to play.
And it's a great season. But starting tonight, Herman, it's do or die.
Exactly. It's win or go home. I heard one coach say, hey, guys, it's win or we turn pads in on Monday.
That's right. So you've got to perform tonight. This is the opportunity you've been looking forward to all season. And what a season we've had right here on Comcast Sports, bringing you some of the best high school football in North Texas. And, folks, it's another picture-perfect night for football in North Texas here at Ram Wildcat Stadium. Just a slight breeze, a chill in the air. As you can see, some of the fans there, you know, we've been able to wear short-sleeve shirts all season.
Absolutely. And, you've come up with shorts a couple of times, too. I mean, this is just incredible weather we're having. It's almost spring weather in the fall here.
Well, let's take a look at some of the standings around the area, how things have fared out. Last week, Skyline lost to Carter 34-7, but to no avail. Carter has been like number 8 in the state all year, so that would have been a tough game for them to win. Then Berkner last week finished the season at 10-0, beating Carrollton Creekview 19-7.
Yeah, Carter, the number 2 team in the area, and Berkner, the number 4 team. So these are 2 highly ranked teams meeting in the first round. Something has to give tonight.
Now to look at the standings and how they fared out in Class 10-5A. Of course, you see Carter there right at the top. They've had a perfect season, but that's nothing unusual for Dallas Carter.
Right, Carter is, again, one of the perennial powerhouses in the state of Texas. Skyline has kind of been a second sister to Carter in that district. They have a good team. They only lost 3 games this year, lost last week to Carter. But Skyline, one of the largest schools by enrollment in the state.
Then you see Skyline at number 2, and then rounding it out with Samuel W.T. White, Brian Adams, Moline, and Sunset. Now going over to the Berkner division. Berkner, just a wonderful season for Coach Jim Ledford and these Rams. 36 years undefeated, and here they've done it in 2005.
A tremendous effort by the Berkner Rams this year. We saw them for a couple of games. They have everything that it takes to be a champion. They have great offense, great personnel, great talent, great coaching, and above all, they have great athletes on defense who seem to rise to the occasion.
Lake Highlands in at number 2. They had a big win last night. We'll talk about that later. Then Carrollton Creekview, Richardson Pierce, Jesuit, and Carrollton, Richardson, and the other Carrollton, Ariel Turner rounds out District 10-5A.
Yeah, it was a great battle between all of those schools to get to that playoff spot, that final playoff spot. The top team in the state, again, South Lake Carroll Dragons. I mean, what can you say? They're one of the top teams in the country, still ranked in the top 5 in the country. The Longview team from East Texas is a team that's going to have to be reckoned with, and Carter, the only other team in the top 10 in the state, according to the AP poll.
There's only 2 teams in the top 10 in our area, and of course, South Lake Carroll number 1, then down there at number 8, Carter. And look at all that, Herman, 10-0, 8-0, 10-0. All these undefeated teams. Now is when football really gets interesting.
Yeah, those are the big boys, the guys that have 0 in the loss column. Those are the big boys, and you're looking at some teams here that will have championships at the end of this playoff run.
As far as these 2 teams go, they're pretty well compared defensively by number. As we take a look at some of the statistics, first on the offensive side of the field for the Raiders, they've rushed for 1,429 yards and 1,263. A pretty balanced attack, rushing and passing for a total of 2,692 total offense.
That's really ideal for a team to come into the playoffs with that kind of balance on offense. And then on defense, they've been pretty solid. They don't allow a lot of pass yardage and been pretty stout against the rush, giving up a total of just 2,235 yards.
Now remember that number when we take a look at Berkner here in a minute in the comparison between the defenses of these teams. Now let's take a look at Berkner and see how they fared out coming into tonight's game, as we'll look at their offense and defensive stats. Their offense has rushed for 31.99, only passed for 403 yards of their total 36.02. That rushing is a big part of Justin Johnson and his brother Josh.
Absolutely. Berkner runs the wishbone. It's a little different lineup, but it's still the basic option offense. They are really a triple threat offense. Justin Johnson, obviously one of the top running backs in the area. He's second on the team to his brother. He's the top rusher, and his brother Josh is second on the team to him with over 1,200 yards also.
And their junior and sophomore, respectively, we're going to see him again. Now let's take a look at the Berkner defense. And remember, I told you to look at this. There's 1,400 yards that they've given up in rushing, 906 in passing for a total of 2307. Very close between these two teams defensively.
Well, this is the key to winning championship, defense. Defense wins championship. Both of these teams are really they're real close together as far as their defense and the amount of yardage that they allow. We know that Berkner has some tremendous athletes on defense. We know that Skyline has played against some teams who have great defenses. Carter, one of the top defenses in the state, just don't give up a lot of yardage at all. So this will be a defensive struggle some point in the game. The defense will have to stand up and stop the other team.
Total team scoring, 308 for the Raiders, 143 against them. And on the other side, the Rams, 254 points scored, 142. Only a 1 point difference between them being scored against.
Yeah, the Berkner Ram defense, we some get behind a couple of times, but they seem to get things figured out late in the game and make stands when they have to. Skyline, obviously, to get to this point in the playoffs, they've had to have some stands along the way to stop teams from scoring. So these teams, both of them, are really prolific on defense. So we're looking for a good defensive struggle too.
Now we'll talk about team leaders. Who are leading this Raider team? Dora has 120 attempts on rushing for 759 yards and 8 touchdowns. The quarterback, Norris, is 57 for 118 and 6. He's got 1,271 yards and 13 touchdowns. You'll hear his name called a lot tonight, not just because he's a quarterback, but he's a strong force in this Raider offense. Receiving, number 84, Cole, heavily recruited, a great receiver. He's got 801 yards and 10 receptions, and Cole leads the team with 60 points in scoring.
Yeah, and I understand Norris is one of the fastest quarterbacks in the state, so once he gets in the open, you better try to get him corralled quickly.
You can't let him get to the corner, and big number 20 for the Berkner Rams, Chinasa, who is another heavily recruited player, is going to have his hands full if Cole gets out to that right side. Now on the other side of the field, we take a look at the Berkner Rams.
Yeah, and Justin Johnson leading the Rams in rushing with 1,298 yards. That's just a tremendous season for a junior quarterback. He also leads the team in passing with over 368 yards. Knox leads in receiving, and also Justin Johnson leading in scoring with 116 points.
So a key factor for this Ram offense is Johnson & Johnson and company. His younger brother who will play off of that option. And then, of course, Justin Johnson is just so lethal up the middle, around the side. A tremendous athlete, and we'll see a lot of his skills here this evening. We appreciate you joining us here on Comcast Sports. You can see this telecast on Saturday and Sunday at 12 noon on Channel 14, and then again at Wednesday night at 8 p.m., and then this year, video on demand. You can catch Comcast. Just go to local sports and pick out this game and enjoy it. And we appreciate you enjoying sports with us and the fantastic Comcast Sports crew we've had each week throughout the high school football season as we wind it down here in the playoffs. So don't go away. There's a lot of good playoff football coming your way here from Ram Wildcat Stadium, where the Skyline Raiders meet the Berkner Rams in the first round of high school football playoffs. We'll be right back with the kickoff.
With On Demand, demand from Comcast Digital Cable, you get a library of over 1,000 movies and shows. And if you also have HBO, you now get HBO On Demand. So you can choose from over 100 HBO movies and shows like The Sopranos, Sex and the City, and more. And you can start them whenever you're ready. It's like having a free HBO library right inside your TV. And you can't get HBO On Demand with satellite. It's on Comcast Digital Cable. TV is now on your terms.
And welcome back to Ram Wildcat, where the Raiders will be meeting the Berkner Rams. The officials for tonight's game, the referee is Bobby Dixon. The umpire is Kevin Thompson. The head linesman will be Mike Kelly. The line judge, Walter Sloan, and the back judge, Randy Yoel. Well, the opening festivities are complete. The Berkner Band just played our national anthem. Skyline will receive to open up the game tonight, and they'll be moving from our left to right in their white jerseys with red pants up against those Berkner Rams in their black uniforms with green helmets.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game, Jeff. I'm really excited. These two teams come in here. This is Region 2. Berkner should probably be the favorite in this region. They only have to win 2 games to get to the regional finals, which is the exciting thing for these kids to chase for. I mean, if you make it to the regional finals, then you have an opportunity, obviously, to win that championship, but you got to get through that region, and that's the tough part. And you come in 10-0, you're playing a game which you should win, but things happen in the playoffs that can't be explained sometimes.
And getting to that region means meeting up with number 8 in the state, Dallas Carter.
It could mean that they would meet Carter at some point. They are basically in this other region, actually the other division. This division, Division 1, and Carter's in Division 2. But basically they could meet Austin Westlake in the regional finals, and Westlake is a perennial power.
Ian Osteen will be the kicker, number 19 for the Rams. And back deep for the Raiders will be Rollins and Davis. And they'll be standing on their own 5-yard line. As things are about to get underway, once again, a picture-perfect evening. The American flag, which is in the end zone to our right, is draped down beautifully here on this Veterans Day. And we're underway with the kickoff, a high kickoff going over to the right side. And it'll be picked up by Davis. And Davis fights his way out across the 20-yard line, and he'll be pushed out of bounds close to the 27.
Yeah, high kickoff. The Berkner Rams keep 3 safeties back. Interesting kick coverage, but they seem to be a little bit leery of Skyline speed. And we know they have some guys that can fly on the Skyline Raiders side of the ball.
They'll mark it at the 27, and that's where we'll have a 1st and 10 for Skyline in their first possession of the game this evening in the first round of the playoffs. And working out of the shotgun will be the quarterback, Norris, and the immediate handoff up the middle for a gain of about maybe a yard on the carry.
Yeah, they're running that sprint option, basically a sprint option draw. Norris is very dangerous with the ball. You have to respect him. Same concept basically as the triple option that Berkner runs. You have to respect the first handoff to the back. You've got to respect that back. And Norris, obviously, you have to account for him every time the ball is snapped.
Michael Morgan on the carry, number 17. As I mentioned at the top of the telecast, heavily recruited. Here's the first pass of the game. It's picked off. And the Rams have it down at the Skyline 20-yard line. And what a pickoff it was by Jared Lund, the senior linebacker. Just stepped up, reached up, picked it off, and the Berkner Rams have the ball deep in Raider territory.
Well, you can't play it any better than that as a linebacker. You drop back in that zone. Norris looking for a receiver downfield, trying to get it in the middle of the field, and Lund right there where he should be. Good drop, just picks the ball out of the air. Turnovers are huge in playoff games.
That was a 15-yard return by Lund, and it'll set up the Rams' first possession of the evening at the 21-yard line. And here comes Johnson and company working out of the shotgun. Johnson has a lot of freedom from Coach Ledford to set up the play. And he'll carry on the first down. And there's one man to beat. And that man was number 4, Swanson. And he takes Johnson down, or he was in the end zone for 6. And that'll be a first down for the Rams. And they'll mark the ball at the 7-yard line.
Well, Johnson has been impressive every time we've seen him carry the ball, but he's getting great blocks. That's a great hole there by his offensive line, the right side of the line, clearing a big hole for him to run, and Johnson just explodes through the blocks.
It was actually Christian Scott on the tackle. Here's the second play from scrimmage, and little brother gets it up the middle. Josh takes it, and he'll be close to maybe a 1-yard gain. That'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Well, Jeff, Justin Johnson has been exciting every time we've seen him, but you have to respect his offensive line. They're doing a great job blowing holes in that Skyline defense right now.
As I said, Coach Ledford gives Johnson some freedom. He says he's one of the best quarterbacks he has ever coached, and he can call some of the sets as you see him right now from the line, changing up the play. He sees something in the defense that he's going to try to exploit, and here he comes, but he gets nowhere. I don't know what he saw, but he brings the ball up to the 5-yard line, and that's where the Rams will have 3rd and goal.
Well, he saw what he thought was a weakness or an overshift to the strong side of the field by the Skyline Raiders. If you watch him, the Raiders are really quick. They get off their blocks extremely quick. So they got back to that weak side of the formation and made that tackle.
And now they'll go with split receivers, 2 to each side. Johnson and Johnson in the backfield. He'll throw. He's in the end zone, and it's dropped. Oh, my goodness. Right in the hands. It looked like number 80, Lucio, was the intended receiver, and the Rams missed a scoring opportunity there.
Right, you don't see Justin Johnson throw much, but he's pretty accurate. He gets the ball right where it needs to be. Great strip by the defensive back. Looks like number 10 for Skyline, Michael Hurst, who basically knocked that touchdown away.
Odestein in on the field goal attempt to try and get some points on the board. The kick is up, and it is good. And so the Rams strike pay dirt first on a 23-yard field goal by Odestein, and they're up 3-0 in this playoff match between the Raiders and the Rams with 9:33 to go in the first.
Yeah, Jeff, and it's important to get points early in a playoff game. You want to put the other team on their heels. Skyline came out, had the early turnover. Berkner makes that turnover into points. So now they have basically Skyline in a slight hole early, and that's the position you want to play in when you're in the playoff. Play up on your opponent.
So the Rams, on a key turnover on Skyline's first drive, gets the interception from Lund, and they take it into the end zone by way of a field goal from Odestein to go on top 3-0. And they had that 1st and goal, but they just couldn't punch it in. The pass was there to Lucio, but he couldn't hold on to it, so they had to settle for the 3. So Odestein will be out to kick for the 2nd time this evening from his 40. Again, back for Skyline will be number 5, Davis, and number 2, Rollins.
Yeah, you know, the Skyline team, you get to this point in the season, you're 7-3, you're in the playoffs. You have to have some resiliency. Teams get up on you. You have to be able to come back. It's early. This is a really tough crowd, a huge Berkner backing here, so we'll see if Skyline can respond to this early score by Berkner.
And here's Odestein's kick as the Rams are pumped. It's a high kick, and Davis will take it, or excuse me, Rollins, and Rollins gets tagged out at the 14-yard line by number 43 of the Rams, and that player is Peyton, Josh Peyton, and it was a 13-yard return by Rollins, and so Skyline will have their 2nd possession of the evening from their own 14.
And that's another area of the game where you can make a big difference in special teams. You actually, a big hit like that pumps your defense up. I mean, they get excited when they see guys hit somebody like that.
And here's the handoff up the middle, and it goes to Morgan, the 6'4", 205-pound senior, and he picks up close to 4 yards on the carry.
Yeah, they're running behind number 77 over here for Skyline. He's a pretty big tackle. Number 77 is Tariell Williams, a good-sized kid. He looks like he's ready for the pros right now.
Lucio in on the tackle over at his left defensive end position. Here's the second play from center, and this time the ball carrier will be Dora, and they get nowhere on the play as the Ram defense is there to shut them down.
Well, we've seen the Berkner defense play extremely well early in the game. They have good athletes on defense. They get upfield. They're very quick. They're kind of rangy. You watch here as the linebacker on the right side over there, ball comes loose, but it's late as the fumble was caused, but it's already on the ground.
They rolled him down, his knee down, and so now we'll have a 3rd and 6 for the Raiders with 8:20 in the first. 3 receivers to the bottom of your screen, and now the quarterback, Norris, doesn't like what he sees, and he calls a timeout, the first timeout of the evening.
Well, early in the game, you like to see your team come out and have a flow. So far, Skyline's come out, they had the interception. Now they've had a little bit of confusion on offense. You really, especially when you're playing in an environment where it's home field for the other team. I mean, this obviously, the Boneyard is not on Berkner's campus, but it's basically their home field, so it's not actually a neutral site. But most playoff games are in neutral sites, so unusual advantage for Berkner. But Skyline has to settle themselves on offense and try to stay in this game early.
The Ram defense has done a superb job of holding the Raiders back deep in their own territory. So far, they've not been able to advance the ball past their own 30-yard line. A nice crowd on hand here this evening. On this side of the field, the Rams. The far side of the field, the Raiders. Again, in the same set, 1 receiver left, 2 to the right. And here's the throw. Back out to the slot, and the intended receiver was Gilbert, and he couldn't come up with it. And so that'll bring up a punting situation for the Raiders.
Yeah, just a little bit of early jitters on the Raiders' part. Norris, the left-hander, throws the ball out. That's a catchable ball. The receiver couldn't come up with it, but that's a catchable ball. A little bit low, but you'd like to see your receiver, get down and catch that and make a play.
Paul De La Rosa will be the punter, and I saw him in pregame. This kid can boot the ball. He's got one heck of a foot on him. Justin Johnson back to receive, standing at his own 43. Here's the punt, and just as I say it, it's going to be short, and it'll take a Skyline bounce back towards their 35. And once again, the Rams will have the ball in good field position unless the flag we see on the field is against them.
Yeah, there are a lot of guys who look great in warm-up, Jeff, but when the game is get started and there's a little bit of pressure on them, that kind of changes. But that was a bad snap, and obviously he had to get that out quickly, so it kind of rushed him a little bit.
It may be against the Rams. Number 20, Ugo Chinasa, out there seems to be pleading his case. I don't know if it'll be running into the kicker or roughing the kicker. Coach Ledford checking it out now with referee Bobby Dixon. And this may give Skyline close to a first down. It may remain 4th down and just short of a first by a yard or 2. He ran into the kicker. It's a 5-yard penalty, as you can hear. And we've got field sound tonight, so we can hear our referee. We won't step on him. So you heard him, Bobby Dixon, tell you, running into the kicker, it's only a 5-yard penalty. And so Skyline moves the ball further downfield, but yet is not in position for a first down, so they will punt once again. So De La Rosa will punt. They thought they had the first. The offense was on the field, and to no avail. The official's flag still laying down there, so don't look at that and think there's another penalty. The snap is low. De La Rosa gets another chance, and this one is high and short, but it does take a bounce to the midfield line where it is marked dead as it's touched by number 44, Derek Meeks. And so the Rams will have their second possession at midfield.
Right, they have great position, great field position, starting the drive on the 50-yard line. It's almost like going downhill. So, Skyline early in this game has had some jitters on offense. The Rams didn't have that far to go on that last drive, so you can't really tell that much. But the defense has to stiffen up here to keep them in the game early.
De La Rosa gets 27 yards on that punt, and so with the penalty, they fare out better. Instead of the Rams having it at the Raider 35, they'll start at the 50. And we go right up the middle to Johnson, and he almost broke free, but he was stopped by a hand tackle, just a hand, and it was number 10, Michael Hurst.
Well, we said it before. The key to this offense is the fullback, and Josh Johnson is a good one. He's not that big. He's a sophomore. He has great balance. He is his big brother's little brother. He has that speed, that strength, and that balance. He's really tough.
And here's the option, and Johnson elects to hold on to it, and he may lose yardage on the play.
Yeah, good form tackle there by the Skyline defender. That's number 10, Mikael Hurst. As Justin, the key to stopping the option is getting to that quarterback early, and that's what they did this time. He didn't give him an opportunity to make the pitch. Just stand him up in the ground, stand right there, and form tackle.
That's 2 plays in a row Michael Hurst, the senior linebacker, has made and stopped the Johnson brothers. Now Justin Johnson looking at the defensive set, calling out his offensive formation. 2nd down and 9. He got a yard on the carry, and this time it's Josh that carries, and he'll be close to a Ram first down near the 25.
Yeah, both Johnson brothers have that rare combination of good feet and power. They're both strong, and they're really tough kids. I mean, the fullback in this Berkner Ram offense just has to be a tough bone and nail kind of a guy. He gets a lot of carries, takes a lot of punishment early in the play and in the game, and he has to keep coming back, and sooner or later he breaks one.
He's short by about 1.5 yards of the first down, so here comes Justin Johnson on the 3rd down carry. He gets it down to the 25, and that'll be a Ram first down.
Yeah, that offensive line with Berkner just powers through the Skyline defense for the first down. The tackles are Andy Lewis and Brandt, Mark Hewson for the Rams. Josh Laribas, Doug Beach, and Andrew Johnson fill out the line at guard and center.
1st and 10, just across the Raider 25-yard line. Here come the Rams. Johnson with the fake over the middle, and he was looking for his key receiver, 97, Caleb Lamb, but Lamb just got turned around as the ball sailed over his hands.
Well, and you see Josh Johnson thought he was going to zig, and he zagged. He threw it outside, and the tight end went inside. He let him know about it right after the play. Sometimes those receivers don't like the quarterback to point him out like that. But this Johnson kid is a good leader. 2nd
and 10. Josh Johnson up the middle for 3. 6:59 to go in the first quarter here at the Boneyard, Wildcat Stadium.
You have to be impressed with the determination and toughness of both the Johnson brothers. They seem to have that kind of determination that it takes to win a championship. They're not just settling for getting to the playoffs. They have some greater expectations.
And here's a big 3rd down play for the Rams, 3rd and 7. And Josh Johnson will carry, and he is very close to a Berkner first down. Depending on the spot, the officials signal first down.
Well, there are not many teams that run the fullback dive on 3rd and 7 and get it in a game like this. That's a great push by the offensive line. Exceptional quickness by Josh Johnson. A kid, he's a sophomore, and boy, this team's going to be tough again next year.
So far, it's been Josh Johnson that's been eating up the yardage for the Rams. He's had the biggest carries in their 2nd drive of the evening. 1st and 10 at the Skyline 15. Justin Johnson, the quarterback, calls the set, and he calls timeout as the play clock is about to expire on him.
Yeah,
want to remind you that you can see this telecast on Saturday and Sunday at noon on Comcast Channel 14, and then again Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. We're glad you joined us. And this year, you can see us on video on demand. Now, how you get to this game is you go to Get Local, then High School Sports, and then select this game. And we're sure happy you've joined us. If you would like to purchase a copy of tonight's game to kind of keep it for posterity and some good memories of this game and others throughout the season, call 214-319 4922. Once again, for a copy of the game, call area code 214-319-4922.
Yeah, this game will be one to cherish. A playoff game is something that kids cherish all their lives, so sure you get some calls on that one.
Yeah, the thing I hate, of course, you've been doing this for a long time. When I go into a restaurant and a guy comes up and introduces his kids to me and tells me we called his games a long time ago. So the time is flying by, and we've had a lot of great football. A great broadcast crew here on Comcast Sports as Berkner calls a timeout, and the Rams will have it with 1st and 10 at the Skyline 15.
You know, Berkner has a lot of tradition. A lot of kids have come through here and gone on to play not only college ball, but in the pros, and we'll get to some of those here in a second.
Here's the 6th play in this drive for the Rams, and it's Josh Johnson up the middle, and he strikes Pater. A big 6 for number 11, Josh Johnson.
Well, it's one of those tough things for the defense. You have to respect Justin Johnson's ability to run on the edges and get outside, but you also have to allow for or be ready to stop Josh Johnson up the middle. He is extremely quick. He gets into the secondary extremely quick, and he's strong. One arm tackle won't bring him down.
And with 5:01 in the first quarter, Ian Osteen is good on the try, and the Rams are up 10-0.
We'll watch the offensive line play on this touchdown. There's no trickery here, just great blocks. No one barely touched him. That's just great offensive push by the offensive line.
And after the touchdown, Josh Johnson ran about 90 yards the other way to the bench in his enthusiasm. And this is that flex bone offense that the Rams are running. And it's very hard to defend. There's only 2 teams that run it, and it's Summit and Berkner. And it's so hard to defend against because you don't see it regularly. You don't have time to practice against it. And those teams that do try to set up a simulated offense to practice against during the week don't do that well because it's such a precise offense. And you just saw one of the things that this flex bone offense can do to you, and that's that quick trap right up the middle there.
Exactly. Basically, it is a modified wishbone. We know that Coach Lubick was with Coach Guyton at Lake Highlands when all those years he was running the wishbone, the true bone, and this is a variation with wingbacks instead of halfbacks, and it's very effective. And the Johnson brothers, along with the rest of that offense, I mean, the Johnson brothers are the guys that are getting the yardage and who are moving the chains, but the guys in the trenches, even the wide receivers block on this team. So it's a team effort to make this thing work.
Coach Ledford spent a lot of years here, as you said, offensive coordinator for those Lake Highland Wildcats in their heydays, and now with the Berkner Rams, and his success continues. Here's Osteen with the kick, his 3rd kickoff of the evening, and it'll be Rollins to get it at his own 5, and he's got some dancing room out to the 30-yard line, and he spins and works his way out to the 34, and he gives Skyline their best offensive field position of the evening.
Well, you know, Skyline has some great speed, always a perennial power in track in the state of Texas. Skyline always has some burners, and if you get them a lane, it's going to be tough trying to catch them from behind.
So with 4:55 to go in the first quarter, Berkner has scored twice on both of their interceptions. The first one came on the 15-yard interception return from Lund. And then Osteen kicked a field goal. And then the last possession, we saw Josh Johnson take it in on the 6-point score. And the try was good by Osteen. And we are at our point of 10-0. Berkner on top. We've got a flag on the field. And it'll be a 5-yard penalty called against Skyline. And it'll be a 1st and 10. And here comes Skyline on their 3rd possession of the evening.
Well, you know they won't be able to get far in the playoff if their defense doesn't play well. So this is the kind of situation where you want your defense to lock down if you're Berkner.
Here comes the handoff to Morris, and he gets knocked off his feet by number 67 of the Rams, and that's Ford.
Yeah, great penetration by the defensive line of Berkner. Just unblocked in the backfield 2 yards deep to get to the runner, knock him off balance.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 13 on the short gain by the Raiders. And in the backfield, we'll have number 5, Davis, and number 32, Robinson. Robinson, the fullback, and here's Davis on the carry, and he squirts his way for maybe a yard pickup.
Yeah, Berkner has some great athletes on defense. Ugo Chinaza is one of the great high school players in the country. They're running away from him. As you watch him attack, you watch the Raiders trying to attack the other side of the ball, running away from Chinaza, and still not having a lot of luck on that side either.
The Ram defense has been phenomenal in the first quarter of play of stifling the Raider offense. And this is the best field position they've had all night. And here they come with a triple set to the right. And here's the throw to the right. And that one is almost picked off by Kelvin Rubles. And it'll bring up another 4th down and punting situation for the Raiders.
Yeah, it's been 3 and out for the Raiders on all their possessions. And you like to see them throw the ball downfield. They've got to loosen up this Berkner defense. Otherwise, it's just going to be black jerseys attacking the quarterback all night. So it looks like they've decided to at least try to loosen up the defense.
So here comes De La Rosa to punt, and he's not been very good so far tonight compared to his warm-ups. And again, he gets a high punt. It comes down at the 45 and takes a Raider bounce and goes out of bounds at the 36. And that'll be the deepest penetration they've made to set up the Rams on offense tonight.
Well, in De La Rosa's defense, Jeff, the snap hasn't been real good. It's been really inconsistent. The first 2 both bounced, and that one was kind of slow and just a lob in the air, and that throws off a timing. I mean, in warm-ups, there's nothing happening like that. You can just sit back there and boom him, and he was really impressive in warm-up, but it's a different story when you got to get that snap. And
get that defensive rush in there on you.
Exactly, different story.
And the Rams are good at doing that. These Raiders are intimidated by this Berkner defense, and the offense has been phenomenal too. And here they come up the middle to Josh Johnson, and he dives for 2 yards.
Yeah, you almost have to assign a man to the fullback in this offense. That time, number 77 for Skyline makes the play. That's Tariel Williams. He's the nose guard. He's going to get a lot of play tonight, trying to stop that initial option in this flexbone offense.
2nd and 9. They'll only credit Johnson with a 1-yard gain. Justin Johnson checking off on the set for the Rams. Here comes the motion and the option, and he can't even get outside before number 18 is there to drag him down. Spencer Reeves did a good job coming around that right side to tackle Johnson.
Well, that's another play out of this flex, that motion wing play where the quarterback comes around with the wing back behind him. They can run that as a reverse also. Another really effective play for him. At that time, Skyline in good position to tackle Johnson for a loss.
The Rams lose 1 yard on the play, so now we have a 3rd and 10 as the clock winds down to 2 minutes in the first quarter. Johnson to throw, gets pressure in the backfield. Rolls out to the right side and can't find a receiver, and he'll be sacked for about a 5-yard loss. And again, in the backfield, it was Reeves chasing down Johnson.
Well, at that time, Skyline gave Berkner a little bit different look. They had linebackers in the gaps trying to make something happen. They got some pressure early on Johnson. Johnson is really elusive. He's a tough kid to bring down, makes fakes. He's making people miss. Just too many Raiders that time for him. And this time it's Berkner 3 and out.
So Ian Osteen will be on for his first punt of the evening. It'll be Davis at his own 26 to receive the punt. Osteen gets off a good punt It comes down to the 30 and takes a bounce where Davis will pick it up at the 22 and work his way out to the 35 and more, and he'll be down to the close to the 40, and they'll mark it in that general area, and he'll give Skyline their next best possession of the evening, and that was a 20-yard punt. Thank you, Bruce Wiseman, our statistician, doing a great job as always up here in the booth with us.
Must be something in the water that the deep snappers both drank, because they're both dribbling the ball back to the punters. That ball rolled back to the punter and still got a decent punt, but we'll watch and see if the deep snappers can get a better effort.
They give a good spot to the Raiders at their own 42 with 1:13 in the first quarter. The pressure is on. Lewis has to carry, and he gets out just past, maybe a yard gain past the original line of scrimmage.
At that time, they looked like the Texas Tech Raiders as they really spread the field. You watch the really big splits, trying to get some room for Norris, who's one of the fastest quarterbacks in the state, trying to get some room for him. Also have the wide receivers split far out on the edges to spread this defense that's been really tough on the Raiders so far.
Triple set on the right. Two receivers to the left. Norris in a 2nd and 8. And here he comes again, no one to throw to, so he'll have to carry. And a bunch of black jerseys meet him, but he does pick up about 3 yards on the play.
Yeah, and that's the kind of situation where you've got all the receivers out. The backfield is empty. You don't have anybody to pick up rushers, so it's got to be on time. And he makes a good decision. There's nothing there on the right side where he had the 3 receivers, so he runs. He basically just tucks it and run, and he looks a little bit stronger than he looks. He took a couple of people to get him down.
And so the Raiders will be satisfied with letting the clock run out here in the first quarter of the play. So after 1 here at Ram Wildcat, the Rams are on top of the Raiders 10-0. A lot more football action coming your way on Comcast Sports.
One hour and 7 minutes ago, my father brought forth a free documentary on the Civil War. No video store, no trip to the library. For this box is a library of thousands of shows. What is next? Cartoons. We shall now watch cartoons. My name is Tommy, and I have discovered On Demand.
On Demand from Comcast Digital Cable. Just what you want, just when you want it, just not on a dish.
So far in the first half of play, it's been all Rams. And the Raiders are trying to get something going here as we open up the second quarter of play. They're at their own 46 with a 3rd and 4. And here comes Norris looking to throw on 3rd down. Across the middle, has a receiver, and that receiver is going to be Cole, who's the leading scorer for Skyline, and he gets it into Ram territory for the first time tonight.
Very good throw by Norris. He had some accuracy on that. Nice drop, delivered the ball right where he wanted to deliver it. He could be a real good passer. He just has to have some time, let his plays develop as you watch the receiver come across the field, catch the ball.
Here comes Norris and the Raiders. This time the handoff will be to their big running back, Michael Morgan, 6'4" senior at 205 pounds. And he picks up 5 yards on the play.
And that's the thing in high school, success breeds success. The kids have some success. They seem to expect success the next time, so they understand what it takes to make something work, and they keep after it. That time, the offensive line blew some guys off, got a little bit of running room for the running back. The play before, they had great protection for Norris.
It'll be Gilbert in the backfield this time, and the fake to Gilbert. And Norris will carry and only gets 2 yards as the players get a little intense down on the field as these teams met last year, and Skyline would like to get that one back. We watch it again as the fake to Gilbert, and Norris carries it, but he's brought down by number 49, Win Brown.
Looked like Adrian Campbell.
I'm sorry.
Who brought him down. He's another one of those rangy defensive linemen for Berkner, and kind of had a little bit of celebration there after the play, and he's getting his defense pumped up.
Here's Gilbert to throw. Chinasa coming off his left defensive end position. No one's going to catch him. We've got a flag on the play, and this could be for players or coaches on the field. Chinasa makes the big tip and interception and goes the other way for 6. But whoa, hold everything.
Yeah, flag. Coaches are yelling at each other and not sure what the penalty is, but it's back here at the 36-yard line of Berkner.
And it looked like the Rams got so excited we had some players or coaches on the field. The officials talking to Coach Ledford now.
Looks like it's just going to be a warning.
And they lucked out there. They'll get a sideline warning. Chinasa, who is an outstanding basketball player for the Berkner Rams, looked like he was going for a steal and a layup on that play.
Yeah, they picked the wrong side of the field to throw that pass. You have to allow for the 6'6" frame of Uga Chinasa when you're trying to throw that screen pass. Looks like if it had gotten by him, it had an opportunity to do something, but you're asking a lot to get that ball over Chinasa.
Osteen is perfect tonight, and he brings our score with 10 minutes and 1 second to go in the first half. 17-10 Rams.
Yeah, Norris in the shotgun, looks to his right, throws, just great timing also. And that's just a great play, great hand-eye coordination to knock that ball out of the air and have the focus to go catch it. And then he's pulling away from people. No wonder a lot of Division I coaches looking forward to this kid showing up on campus next year.
Not 17-10 is my excitement looking at the clock. Excuse me. It's 17-0. And these Rams are dominating. That's the second turnover. The first one was Lund in the first quarter, and he set up the field goal by Osteen. And then the second drive of the evening, it was Josh Johnson penetrating the middle that brought us to 10-0. And now Chinasa, the mighty defensive end, who we've seen several times this year on a 55-yard scamper on an interception with Osteen and company, brings us to 17-0 in this first playoff round of high school football in North Texas.
Yeah, just as Skyline seemed to start moving the ball a little bit, they had another mistake, and actually that was just a great play by the defense. They moved the ball, had a first down, looking to move the ball again. That was a third and about 5 or 6, so they had an opportunity to pick that up as they were moving the drive. The score was still 10-0, so that play really changes this ball game.
And this is where Coach Samples has to get the composure of his team back together and get them calmed down and get them into this game. A high kick from Osteen is taken by Cole and dropped at the 32. The Rams say they have it, and they do have it, and another huge turnover by the Skyline Raiders.
Yeah, and that's something you watch on film. You have to be prepared for that. We've seen Berkner several times, and we've seen them do this on several occasions where they have that pooch kick high in the air. You want your players to have one guy call for the ball, not bumping into each other. That's what happened with Skyline. They had 2 players right around the football, and neither one of them made the catch. Just hit the ground and basically almost like an onside kick for Berkner.
Just a short kick of 23 yards, and check it out. Chinasa is setting as the inside receiver on the right side.
Boy, the way he was running on that return, I'd get him in there too.
Here's the handoff to Johnson up the middle, bounces out of the middle. Chinasa gives him a block. Justin Johnson into the end zone, and the Rams are on the board again.
Boy, this is a really, really good offensive team. We've seen them early in the year. We saw them against Lake Highlands. They were good in spots. They actually got behind in that game, came back late to win. But tonight, they look really sharp against a Skyline Raider team that's 7-3, decent defense, but they look like they don't have a clue to stopping this option offense.
Chinasa went up the middle, or excuse me, Johnson went up the middle as we look at the kick from Osteen, and he's still perfect on the night. And that brings our score to 24-0, excuse me. And what I was trying to say before, Johnson got into the middle, ran into traffic, and bounced outside, got a big block from Chinasa, and scampered right into the end zone.
Right, and you watch Josh Johnson. He has good balance. Again, great blocking inside. Gets a little bit of a bump there, bounces outside, keeps his balance, keeps those legs moving. You can tell he and his brother both have lifted weights. They've done a lot of squats. They have strong legs, and they have a lot of drive and determination. Just a great effort.
That was 2 touchdowns scored by the Rams in 12 minutes. Seconds, excuse me. Sorry, Bruce Wiseman again doing a good job keeping our stats. And the Rams are red hot here this evening. And they are showing what they're made of. They've got a young team. They got to the second round of the playoffs in 2004, and they want to take it a little bit deeper and maybe all the way in 2005.
Well, Skyline has have a lot of work to do in terms of getting back into this game. The offense did start moving the ball a little bit there. They had, it's hard to blame that last interception on Norris. That was just a great play by Chinaza, and we'll see here how they respond.
Osteen on the short kick once again is picked up at the 30-yard line and advanced out 3.5 to 4 yards, and that's where the Raiders will take over 1st and 10 in their own territory.
Yeah, Norris is, again, one of the fastest kids in the state. If you get him outside, he can make something happen. They tried to spread the field on that last drive that they had. They had a little bit wider spreads in the line, and also the wide receiver were spread out further, and gave him an opportunity to get Norris out in the open and also have some openings for the receivers downfield.
25-yard kickoff. Here's Norris and company on 1st down, and they're going to try and go right to the air, and he's missed in the pocket, scrambles upfield, and only picks up 2 yards on the play.
Boy, he shows quickness in those spurts. Don't know how he got out of that. That's good pressure by the defense. Just gets a little bit of pressure early. He's holding that ball a little bit low. Kind of backs out of there. The defensive line for Berkner real patient. They know they don't want to just put too much pressure on him. He'll outrun them, but they're watching for him to make those cuts, and that time he almost got out of there.
The Rams got in there so quick, they ran right past him. 9 minutes, 8 seconds to go in the first half of play. The pass out the left side is off of the hands of the intended receiver, Lamonte Ward. Excuse me, it looks like it's Christian Scott, number 6, the intended receiver, and he just couldn't pull it in.
Well, this is great touch by Norris. He puts this ball, he's a left-handed kid, gets that ball out there right, just drops it right over the cornerback into the receiver's hands, just missed him. That's a pretty good throw.
So once again, the Raiders are faced with a 3rd down situation. It'll be 3rd and 8 from their own 36. Norris all alone, standing at his 30 out of the shotgun. Throwing on 3rd down, fires it out across the 40, and it was intended for number 20, Dora, and it just zipped right past him. And so now on 4th down, the Raiders will have to punt.
Well, you hear the saying all the time that timing is everything. Norris just rushed this throw a little bit. He had just a half a count to hold that ball, not a lot of rush to get it to his receiver, but he just missed him, and they're forced to punt again.
Here's De La Rosa's punt, and this time he gets off a good punt. Johnson will signal for a fair catch at his own 28, and oh my, I can't believe Rollins wasn't paying attention to the signal, and we've got a flag on the play as De La Rosa was able to get off a 40-yard punt.
Well, I didn't see a flag, but that definitely was a violation. I'm not sure if he didn't recognize, the referee is not accepting the fair catch signal, but I don't see a flag.
It's over there. It's hard to see. It's on the 30, the number 30, as he's going to pick it up.
Oh, I see.
And as you can hear referee Bobby Dixon say, that's a big 15-yard penalty. And the mistakes continue to mount for these Raiders tonight. They just can't get anything going their way. That'll bring the ball out to the Berkner 44-yard line.
Yeah, Berkner has been on a roll offensively the last couple of possessions. So this is a real critical point in the game for Skyline's defense.
Here comes Johnson, tries to run the option, and he gets nowhere. And Morgan was in on the backfield to take him down, and that'll be a big loss for the Rams by close of 10 yards.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of losses by this offense. That's good pressure by the Skyline defense. They just got in real quick. Great play by the defensive end. That's the kind of pressure you have to put on Johnson. You have to get in his face early as he's coming around to make those option choices.
They'll credit an 8-yard loss on the first down play. It'll be 2nd and 18 for the Rams at the 36. Johnson and company in the flex bone. And he goes to Josh Johnson, who's had great success so far this evening. And he gets back close to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Josh Johnson, he has to be approaching 100 yards already. He's keeping those legs moving. A lot of black jerseys blocking the white jerseys. He's getting a lot of room to make something happen. And when your fullback is getting that kind of room, you have to, pat your offensive line on the back. Those guys are doing an outstanding job up front.
3rd down and 10 for the Rams. And here they go with the reverse and a pass. And it's Johnson downfield for the pass, and he catches the ball before being knocked out of bounds at the 32. What a pass. He was interfered. The pass came from Nick Thomas.
Going with a little razzle-dazzle here. Reverse, Skyline not fooled on the line. It gets some pressure on it. That's the defensive end again, Morgan over there. And Johnson is getting jostled downfield, gets his feet inbound. He never gives up on the play, even though he was well covered into the play. And he just realized that he was throwing it to Johnson and gave him a chance to make a play.
23-yard gain for the Rams, and we've got an official timeout. A beautiful play. Johnson can do it all. He can run, he can throw, and now he's a receiver on the 23-yard reception, and it comes back from Nick Thomas. And don't forget, he runs back punts. The clock winds down under 7 minutes in the first half. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Johnson to keep. Dives his way out towards the 25-yard line. They'll spot it at the 27.
Well, and that's that play, that inside quarterback trap play that that Hightower made so famous here. You watch him, just a fake to the fullback, get upfield. DeVarian Hightower and Marcus Stiggers both made that play work for Lake Highlands, and they were prolific runners at the quarterback position in the wishbone.
The Raider defense has been on the field a lot so far in the first half. They've got to be wearing down. The Rams are pumped, and here they go with Justin Johnson carrying the ball up the middle, and he'll be about a yard short of a Ram first down.
Yeah, we're getting a little bit of contact after the play. The guys starting to get a little bit antsy. You're down 24-0. You get a little angry in there, and they're kind of hitting Johnson after the play, and the referees are kind of letting him play.
And you can hear some of the disappointment from the Berkner fans, but hey, things are going your way.
Well,
let's keep our cool here.
Yeah, and Johnson is a feisty kid, and I think that's what the referees are saying. He gets up with some toughness, and so the defense is going to give him a shot after the play sometime.
3rd and 2, quarterback keeper up the middle. Johnson takes it to the 20, and another Ram first down.
He is a tough kid. You like to have your quarterback be a guy that will run inside, and the referees are really kind of letting them play, and things are kind of getting just a little testy here on both sides of the ball.
Johnson does a good thing. He walks away from the scuffle to the sideline.
Yeah, that offensive line is still just the key. The key group of players on the field right now is the offensive line for Berkner. They are dominating this game.
And you can see Johnson talking to referee Bobby Dixon, complaining about what's going on. And now the clock will start to wind. The play clock down at 20. 5:22 in the first half. The Rams on top, 24-0. on a multitude of mistakes by the Skyline Raiders. Here comes Josh Johnson, his turn to carry, and he gets 3 yards.
Well, you know, and the key thing about the extracurricular activity, you know, these kids don't want to get into any trouble to get thrown out of the game because they have to sit out the next game. And you watch that offensive line just kind of taking control. But, yeah, you can't take that risk if you're a player out there, especially a key player. If you get thrown out of a game, not only do you miss the rest of this game, but you're out the following week.
Exactly. Here's the 8th play of the drive for the Rams, and now we'll have a Ram timeout.
Yeah, I think the coaches are a little bit concerned. They're trying to get their kids gathered and get some composure. Johnson's still talking to the referee about the extracurricular activity, but again, he's a feisty kid. You have to like the way he pops up and kind of pushes the tacklers off of him, but hey, you know, some guys don't let that happen. they retaliate. So, and the referees have been letting them play, but I think the referee's going to say something to both sides.
Don't forget, you can watch the telecast of this game on Comcast Sports, Channel 14, Saturday and Sunday at 12 noon, and then again Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. And this year you can see us on video on demand. Now to get to us, go to Get Local and click on High School Sports and then select this game. And if you'd like a copy of tonight's game, and if you are a Ram fan, I am sure for memories you'd like a copy of this game, please call 214-319-4922. Once again, that number is 214-319-4922 for a copy of tonight's game.
Yeah, and that's, you know, one of the only things that can keep Berkner from going on and doing well, not only here tonight and the next game in the playoff, is to lose focus and start concentrating on things outside of the game. As far as the football is concerned, they're doing an outstanding job.
Justin Johnson to carry, has a little bit of daylight out across the 15-yard line, close to the 14, and he'll be about 5 yards short of a Ram first down.
Justin likes to run this inside trap where it's quarterback keeper. Gets pretty good pop downfield. About 5 yards down the field, makes it 3rd and 5.
Hugo Chinasa still in on offense. Receivers set out on the right side. We've got 2 receivers left, 2 right. Johnson in the shotgun on 3rd down, looks to throw, looks for Chinasa. And Chinasa was tangled up with Scott. No interference call on the play, and it was off his back shoulder. He couldn't haul it in, so it'll be a 4th down and a field goal try for Osteen.
They're trying to get Chinasa in the end zone. Again, Berkner doesn't throw a lot of passes. Johnson knows that Chinasa has a height advantage, throws it out there, gives him an opportunity to go for the ball. The defensive back, a little bit of contact on that prior to the ball getting there, but again, the referee's letting them play.
Here's a 32-yard attempt from Osteen, and he's done his job. No, that one went off to the side. It looked like it went inside, so he's missed for the first time here this evening on the 32-yard attempt. And the Rams will turn the ball over now to the Raiders, but of to no avail. They're still back down at their own 20-yard line.
Well, and if you're a Skyline, you have to hang your hat on anything, and a missed field goal is something that you can get some positive motivation out of. Your defense just held Berkner to no points on that drive, so the offense has to come out, try to put together a drive, and not make mistakes to give Berkner either points or put them into position to get points.
So here comes Norris. In the backfield, it'll be it'll be Morgan with him, and he dives and scrambles and gets nowhere as he gets back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we've seen Norris drop back and have some time to pass and be effective, but this offense is really balanced. That's the key to them making the playoffs and winning games. So they have to run the ball and also pass the ball. They're behind now, so you're going to have to see them move the ball, throw the ball a little bit more, but this is still primarily a balanced team where they do running and passing.
Here comes Norris looking to throw, doesn't have an open receiver, gets across the 20, breaks loose and is close to a first down, out of bounds just across the 30, and most likely that will be a Raider first down.
And Norris gets out on that edge. He's a little bit herky-jerky. He stops, but he accelerates extremely quickly. He's looking to throw the ball. gets pretty good block. Not a lot of pressure from that Berkner defense this time. Makes a good move to get outside. Now he's running and making moves on making people miss to get the first down.
The defensive pressure by the Rams has been tremendous. Norris not able to get any passes off. Chinasa had a hand on him there. And again, he's scrambling for his life, and he'll lose close to 6 yards on the first down play.
Yeah, and you look at Norris, it looks as if he's giving up on his receivers just a little bit quick. I know Berkner has these tall, rangy linemen, so he doesn't want to throw that ball. Chinasa probably had an effect on that play as he was in the throwing lane for Norris. So, the coaches want him to throw that ball, but he knows Chinasa is there to knock that ball down. And he even had a receiver open out here, but didn't take the chance and tried to do a little bit too much himself.
Chinasa is a 6'6", 230-pound speed rusher. And he is ranked number 18 as the number 18 recruit in the state by Rivals.com. And he's a threat to any team the Rams go up against because he's got tremendous speed on the outside, and Skyline calls a timeout.
Well, he's like you said, he's 6'6", he's 231. He has a good frame, a good frame to put some more weight on. You see kids like Marcus Ware with the Cowboys and Chris Canty also with the Cowboys, who are rangy kids. You get them in a training program on a college campus, they put on some weight, 265, 270 before you know it, and they're outstanding pro prospects.
Berkner at 10-0, Sports Day 5 area rankings, averages 319.9 yards rushing entering into the game tonight. And with the Johnson brothers, that's the only tandem 1,000-yard rushing team in the area. And they're going to be back next year. Berkner defense is spread out. 2:15 in the first half. 3 receivers left. Another fourth now in motion is Gilbert. Norris to throw, looking to Cole. And Cole can't get a hand on him. Hand on the ball as Calvin Rubles is there on the defense. Does a good job getting in his way without interfering to stop the pass completion.
Yeah, good coverage. This time Norris basically is giving his receiver a chance to make a play. He's covered. He knows he's covered. Throws it out there anyway. He must have a lot of faith in his receiver, number 84, Cole. But that time Cole didn't make a real great effort to make a play. I don't know if he lost the ball in the lights or what, but just not a great effort to catch that ball.
3rd and long for the Raiders. On a passing down, Norris has nowhere to go, and he'll be sacked for another loss inside the 25.
Well, that's something you don't like to see as Norris gets up and fires a shot at this offensive tackle, who is a pretty big kid, 66, 77 on that play. He's looking for somebody to trying to get some help, and he gets up and is angry at fires one at his tackle, trying to fire him up. You don't like to see a kid do that in a game. You really don't. Not even on the sideline, but you understand that you want to fire those big guys up sometimes.
Especially when you're 180 pounds. The Rams bring it all to block De La Rosa's punt, but they can't do it. Johnson takes it at the 35. The tackle's missed. Johnson out towards midfield and will be knocked out of bounds at that location.
And that time De La Rosa showed that booming kick that he was booming like he was booming him in warm-up. And there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, we were talking about the skirmish between Norris, the quarterback, and his right tackle, number 77, Williams. Norris is 180 pounds. Williams is 360. He better choose his fights a little bit better than that.
Yeah, he makes 2 Norrises. he is a big kid, but evidently, Norris, you're a leader on the team. You have to take on the big ones with the little ones sometime, and you see a kid do that, and Terriell Williams, that offensive lineman, is a junior, and his quarterback's trying to get him fired up.
So an illegal block on the Rams on the 16-yard punt return by Johnson will move him back to the 40-yard line with 1:16 to go in the first half. And don't go away. We've got some halftime performance coming your way from the Berkner Ram Mighty Marching Band, and there's none better than the Ram Marching Band. Truly wonderful entertainment, and then the Bandoleros will be out there also tonight. So the Ram Marching Band and the Bandoleros, you don't want to go away because a lot more fun and action coming your way on Comcast Sports. Justin Johnson will carry, and he didn't really look enthusiastic on that one, Herman. He got a 5-yard gain on it, even though he was just kind of waltzing his way up midfield. Gets it out across the 45-yard line.
Well, sometimes when you're having big plays during the game, you look for a big play every time, and that looks like what Justin was doing here. He's looking for that big play, not just to get upfield some yardage, but he's looking to go all the way every time.
Out of the shotgun now, under a minute. Here's the pitch out the right side to Josh Johnson, and he'll get a Ram first down into Raider territory at the 49.
Well, that's something I haven't seen a lot this year with Berkner, and that's Josh Johnson out on the edge. As Justin gets out on the edge, pitches it back to Josh, he almost looks uncomfortable out on the edge. It looks like he needs to be inside like a bumper ball machine where he's getting bumped around so he can make a play.
Paris now coming around on the reverse, gets the pitch, and he's got about a 6-yard gain on the first down carry and goes out of bounds, and that'll stop the clock at 28 seconds.
Well, it's been a Johnson & Johnson affair for most of the night. This time Paris gets the ball on the reverse, and good pitch by Justin Johnson, draws the defense in, pitches it out to Paris. He kind of stopped and let that defender hit him. You want to continue out of bounds. Sometimes the referee will call that down as far as your forward progress, so you want to stop that clock.
And the first mistake of the evening, and Justin Johnson, even though they've had great success all night, is kind of disturbed at his line. They jumped a little bit too soon.
Yeah, everybody jumped everybody left except the center, which is the key.
So instead of a 2nd and 5, the Rams will have a 2nd and 10 back at the 49. And here we go. And another flag as the laundry is flying, and for some reason Justin Johnson is frustrated as he talks to his center, and we'll wait for the call, and they'll get back up 5 more yards, and it'll be 2nd and 15 on a procedure call.
Well, sometimes in the offensive line, when you're tired and you've been out there working like this line has been, sometimes the place that it tells is on those deep snaps, those shotgun snaps by the center. So this time Johnson comes under the center to get the ball. Sometimes those big guys on that offensive line get a little tired, and that ball doesn't get back there as quick as it should.
Johnson working his way around, talking to everybody, making sure things are going to go as planned here.
He's been looking at Peyton Manning.
Josh Johnson gets it back out to midfield, and he'll be 2 yards short of the original line of scrimmage, and now we'll have a 3rd and 11 for the Rams.
The clock's still running. Berkner does have a timeout left. They're trying to get into field goal range, it seems. And you watch the replay here. Just not a lot of running room here as the Skyline Raiders get a little closer.
And Justin Johnson rolls out the left side, and he was looking for his trail back, Beaver, and he wasn't there, and again comes up frustrated as they wind down the first half of play. And what a competitor that Johnson is, man. He is in here no matter what the score is all the way.
Yeah, he really wanted that pitch, as his pitch man, 25 for Berkner, was late getting around there. That's Aaron Phillips getting through him the ball earlier in the game, but just wasn't able to get there, or it would have been open.
So after one half of play here at the Boneyard, Ram Wildcat Stadium, the Berkner Rams are in control in the first round of the high school football playoffs, on top of the Skyline Raiders, 24-0. We'll be back with a halftime performance from the Bandoleros and the Berkner Band right after this.
I'm not what you would call a do-it-yourselfer. Like that time with my new HD TV. Thankfully, to get high-def programming from Comcast, I didn't have to install anything myself. One call and they did the rest. Now I get all these great HD channels, HD TV on demand, even an HD DVR, all without buying any expensive equipment. They really saved me from myself.
That's HD made easy. Comcast.
Save on your Comcast bill when you purchase select Philips electronics from Comcast.Philips.com.
Entitled Crunch Time. And now, as the Ram Band spells out our new birthday script partner, it's now time for all of you Ram fans to get out of your seats and start yelling. We have asked some of our cheerleaders to help out, so let's really hear it and count out the other side of the stadium as the Ram Band plays the Hay Song. The Bandoleros now present their exciting jazz screamer routine to the smash-up. Come on, feel the noise.
If you get an HD TV without Comcast, you may find that something's missing. Like some of your favorite local broadcast networks in HD, including some of the most popular primetime shows. With Comcast, you get the full high-definition experience. TV is now on your terms.
Jeff Tokar, Herman Graham Chapman, and the Comcast sports crew back here at the Boneyard after a great halftime performance by that mighty Ram marching band under the direction of Mike Brashear. They performed Final Countdown Crunch Time in that famous A song, and then we had those wonderful ladies of the Bandoleros who are led by Heather Rios and Brandy Davis doing Come On, Feel the Noise. And I hope you enjoyed them as much as we did. The Rams on top of the Raiders, 24-0 here after the first half of play, and the Rams, Herman, have been in command all the way.
Yeah, they have been really stifling on defense and extremely effective on offense. But the key has been they're not letting Skyline do anything offensively. They've been 3 and out several times. They've had a couple of turnovers, one for a touchdown, the other put Berkner in a real good field position. So unless they change that, it's going to be a long night for Skyline Raiders.
And of that 24 points, 2 of the touchdowns for the Rams, or excuse me, just one came off of an interception by Chinasa. The other was from Lund, and it set up the Osteen field goal. And De La Rosa will have a nice boot that Justin Johnson will take at his own goal line to open up the second half. And here comes Johnson, and he gets out to the 20-yard line. And that was the first decent kick we've seen really from De La Rosa tonight as he's able to put it back. And now we've got a flag here as they just spot the ball. Tempers were flaring at the first half, and this one's going to be against Johnson. He'd been complaining to the officials in the second quarter, and now he's after him again just coming out. So he's going to have to chill a little bit and get back into his huddle and keep his team driving down the field.
Yeah, he took a little hit there and took a little extra shot from the Skyline player. And, actually the referee was looking right at it. It was just actually they were getting up and there was a little contact and the ref just let it go. And Justin Johnson was really upset about it, and he really has to be careful. I mean, if he gets thrown out of this game, then he misses next week, and that could be extremely. If there's a kid that you can't afford to lose, it's Justin Johnson.
Right. You're in command right now. It's 24-0. I know there may be some cheap shots out there, but you've got to keep your composure. Johnson will carry on first down and gets it out to the near the 20-yard line. He'll be close to the 18-yard line.
And the thing you like about Burton is they're a tough offensive team. They're tough-minded. They kind of reflect Justin's personality. He's a tough kid. He's very feisty. He'll probably, I'm not sure about it, but he'll probably be changed to safety if he goes to college Division I. But he's a good, tough kid.
Here's the handoff to his brother Josh, and he runs into Rollins, but not after he picks up a first down for the Rams out at the 23, 24.
He and his brother both play with that kind of defensive mentality. They're both very tough, they seem to seek the contact and thrive on it.
Chinasa had been in at receiver several times. They were looking for him on pass plays. We don't know if they'll try again in the second half as Johnson carries on the first down play, and he gets out to the 28.
Yeah, just that offensive line still working. So far this series, Skyline has tried to get more people on the line of scrimmage. They're really tight in there, and we've seen Justin Johnson throw the ball deep. We've seen reverses. So while Skyline is creeping up, everybody's within 5 yards. Now the safety drops back just a little bit.
Johnson on second down has the handoff around the left side to number 25, Phillips. And Phillips first had contact from Reeves and is unable to gain on the play.
Yeah, here's that reverse that I like so much is that wing back in motion reverse. And a play that I'm real familiar with, ran it in high school. When you get the defense moving one way, you get that quick wing back coming back the other way, causes problems for the defense.
Reeves unable to advance the ball. So we'll have a third down and about 6 yards for a Ram first down. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. In the shotgun, here's Johnson. Fakes to his brother Josh. Now the pitch out the left side. And it'll be carried again by Phillips. And my goodness, the big defensive linebacker, Michael Morgan, just grabbed him with one hand and just chunked him out of bounds.
Yeah, at that time, the Skyline players looking for something to get them motivated. And when the Bergner Ram players came on that side of the field, the Skyline players kind of surrounded them, trying to intimidate them a little bit. And the referee threw the flag and getting a little chintzy out there.
And we get an unsportsmanlike call from referee Bobby Dixon on Skyline. That'll be 15 and a huge Ram first down.
Here's the play as he gets thrown out of bounds here. You're watching. That's clean. Nothing wrong with that. But now here comes the Skyline players as they surround him, kind of trying to intimidate him. That's where the flag was thrown.
So that'll move the ball out to the Ram 48-yard line, close to midfield. And the Rams are starting to get things going again here in the second half.
Yeah, you don't want to see your players get involved and that kind of thing. You want to see them play with class, whether they're up or down. Just keep playing hard, and good things happen.
Things sputtered a little bit for the Ram offense closing out the first half of play, but they're starting to fire on all cylinders again as Johnson will carry it across midfield down to the Skyline 46.
Well, and really the two miscues by the Skyline offense, and you watch Johnson here get out on the edge. Again, he's powerful. You're not going to arm tackle him, but you take away those both interceptions, the one for the touchdown and the one that got the 3 points. That's 10 points off the board. This is a 14-0 game, which is a lot closer than 24-0.
The Rams with 2nd and 4. Josh Johnson up the middle, and he penetrates that Raider defense, and it will be close to a first down.
Yeah, and that offensive line is getting that motor warmed up now, and they've run every option. They really this offense has come out and they've thrown every punch at Skyline early. They run some reverses, they run the option on the edges, and now they're showing Josh Johnson again right up the gut.
3rd and a hair, and here's Justin Johnson as expected, and he'll pick up the Ram first down And right now it looks like they'll spot it at the Raider 41.
Yeah, the Berkman line is just doing their job. Again, it's Andy Lewis, Andrew Johnson, Doug Beach, Josh Laribu, and Brant Marcusen doing an outstanding job up front. Laribus.
24-0 lead. I would think Coach Ledford and these Rams would want to try and keep things moving on the ground and keep that clock winding down and get out of this first playoff game. And here's the pitch out on the right side. It comes to Parrish, and he loses yardage on the pitch from Johnson.
Yeah, boy, just about any other option quarterback, you'd see the coach probably chewing him about throwing this pitch. It's that's a long pitch. You don't like to see a pitch that far from your quarterback to the running back. But Justin Johnson extremely comfortable in this offense, and the coaches give him a little bit of leeway to do his thing out there, and he's not afraid to take some risks.
Lamb and Talkington check into the game. Talkington to the left, Lamb to the right. Key receivers on second down, and they look to throw, and it's Lamb, and he's got the ball at the 30 inside the 20-yard line.
Boy, that's that seam that opens up when you bring those linebackers up to help with that fullback option, and also on the outside option, you have to leave something open, and this time it's the tight end as Justin Johnson just drops back. It's the ball in Lamb's hands, a lot of green out there, and Skyline Raiders defense catching inside the 20-yard line.
Lamb set it a split end on the right side, just popped over the corner, and Justin Johnson was able to hit him, and it was a big gain. 19 yards on the reception. And we've got a timeout called by Skyline as the defense wasn't ready for what the Rams was going to bring their way. Hey, you can catch the cable cast of tonight's game on Saturday and Sunday on Comcast Channel 14 at 12 noon, and then again Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. And also in 2005, we offer you games video on demand. Go to video on demand at Get Local and then click on High School Sports and then select tonight's game. Also, if you'd like a copy of tonight's game, if you want to keep it around to show your grandkids, or your kids would like to keep it to show their kids if they're playing tonight or cheering or in the band, give us a call at 214-319-4922. That's 214-319-4922 to get a copy of tonight's game. 6:56 in the third here at Ram Wildcat. The Rams on top of the Raiders 24-0 in the first round of the high school playoffs.
Yeah, and then this region 2, Division 1, a lot of interesting games. Skyline Berkman tonight, Rowlett and Mesquite tomorrow at Ford Stadium. A&M Consolidated and the Woodlands are playing tonight, and Austin Westlake and Pflugerville. All of those teams can be competitive in this region.
Justin Johnson on the pitch to Paris, but it goes out of bounds, and they'll mark it at the 16-yard line. And up and coming will be a second down in the 9th play of this drive, which started at the Rams' own 10-yard line.
Again, Justin Johnson gets an opportunity to get out here on the edge, and he takes some risk in this option. Boy, there's a white jersey between him and his pitch man. He just throws it right by the defender's shoulder. The running back probably caught a blur of that defender and was unable to come up with the pitch. But, Justin Johnson is fearless out there running this offense.
Again, the officials for tonight's game, the referee Bobby Dixon, the umpire Kevin Thompson, head linesman Mike Kelly. The line judge is Walter Sloan, and the back judge is Randy Yowell.
Yeah,
and Justin Johnson comes over to the sideline, talk things over with Coach Ledford.
Yeah, and you can take those risks like Justin is taking with a 24-0 lead. If it's a closer game, you probably don't see him make that pitch.
Here we go, 2nd and 7. Justin Johnson on the option. This time he completes it to Parrish, and he's inside. Well, almost. They mark it at the 5-yard line. I thought he got inside the 5.
Yeah, it looks like he stepped out of bounds. At least the referee has him step out of bounds before he got the contact down inside the 5. And Johnson smelling the end zone, running this offense. He's really a great field general in this offense as you watch the running back get hit out of bounds. But, yeah, he's well out of bounds before he gets to the 5-yard line. Well, you really have to be a tough kid to play the quarterback position in this option offense. You're going to take some hits. You have to be mentally tough also to play that position.
And this is another huge penalty on the Raiders. Their second unsportsmanlike conduct, and that'll move the ball down to the 3-yard line.
And I think he called that on the bench, if I'm not mistaken. I think I heard him say unsportsmanlike on the bench, and then I did see him look that way. So that's not, that's not the way you play championship football. You caution yourself yardage and give your other team a chance to score.
And Justin Johnson will run it up the middle and put another 6 on the board for the Rams.
Well, that was a long, sustained drive, Jeff. They came out of that locker room looking for a state championship. They had that kind of mentality, and they came out and pushed Skyline straight down the field.
So Justin Johnson takes it in to cap off a 90-yard drive for the Rams. Here in the third quarter, they've been in control of the ball, and that's capped off with an Osteen point after, and the score is 31-0, and the Rams in command.
Yeah, and that offensive line is just pushing people off the ball. At the half, Josh Johnson had 102 yards on 12 carries, and Justin Johnson had 29 yards on 12 carries. Actually, Josh only had 1 or 2 carries on that drive, and Justin had at least 3 or 4, but they're starting to take control of the game, and they've been in control for a while, but it's hard to stop a boulder that's rolling downfield like this Berkner offense.
The Berkner fans are loving it, and the unsportsmanlike call made it a lot easier for Johnson just to punch it in a couple yards, and that was the second call of the night. And the penalties, the interceptions, and the mistakes being made on behalf of the Raiders is costing them dearly.
Well, and, obviously it's a playoff game, and usually in playoff games the referee let the kids play a little bit after the whistle. But this clearly was getting out of hand. I thought it got a little bit out of hand in the first half where the referees didn't throw penalty flags in a couple of situations. But you see them now trying to take a little bit more control. They probably talked about it at the half, and let's get control of this situation before it really gets out of hand.
With 6:39 in the third and a 31-0 lead, here comes Ian Osteen to kick off once again for the Rams. And he gets a high, short kick. It'll be fielded by Cole inside the 40. And they'll mark it close to the 40, inside the 40. They'll mark it close to the 37-38, and that's where the Raiders will have a 1st and 10.
Well, it doesn't look like Skyline worked on the fair catch on the kickoff this week. You can fair catch that ball, save yourself the headache. You got to catch it, and they're right on you. You may as well fair catch that ball, but they haven't called a fair catch on that high pooch kick at all tonight.
It was a 24-yard kick. And you'd expect that the Raiders will come out here in a quick passing offense to try and make some completions while at the same time preserve clock time. But Norris will carry, and he gets 3 yards as he brings it up close to the 40-yard line.
Skyline's offense came out in the second quarter. They were trying to get the ball downfield, throwing the ball. Now it looks like they just want to attack. They were giving the Berkner Rams an opportunity to put some pressure on Norris when he was dropping back to pass. So it looks like they decided, hey, let's just run at him and see what we can do here.
Here's Norris on second down, and this time he will throw, and he's got his receiver Cole for a 1st down, and he'll be pulled down at the 48-49 yard line.
Norris has had some opportunities to throw the ball, but he throws downfield, and he has just when he's throwing on time, and he has an accurate arm. He gets it where he wants it to go. He's had some misreads and some bad throws tonight, but that's because of the pressure of the Berkner Ram defense.
It's a 13-yard completion from Norris to Cole, and here's Norris to throw again. Can't find anybody, but 3 black jerseys at midfield, and he'll be taken down there, and he'll only pick up 1 yard.
And that's one of those cases my coach used to tell me, hey, you're running fast, but you're standing in the same place. You got to make some movement downfield. And again, his passing lane is taken away by those ranging defensive linemen for Bergner. And then when he tucks it, he's a little bit looks a little bit undecided about what he wants to do, and gives the Bergner Rams time to catch him.
Second down, and the pass was intended for number 4, Swanson, but he couldn't get back to the ball, and so it's incomplete, and it'll be third down for the Raiders.
Yeah, he's still throwing over here. Chinaza's over there, got that wingspan up, and he is obviously concerned about that. He threw that ball wide because Ugo Chinazi was in the throwing lane and reaching out and able to force that ball wide.
Here come the Raiders on a big third down in the third quarter. It'll be a passing play. And the pass this time is complete for a first down to Swanson. And now the laundry flies as the players get into a scuffle.
Yeah, and that time Skyline player a little bit upset that he got a face mask. The face mask penalty is there. I don't know if he's going to get that offset by jumping up and getting in the face of the Bergner Rams, but there are 3-4 flags down on the field. Everybody saw it.
Big third down completion for the Raiders. Let's see what Bobby Dixon has to say.
Yeah, that's a dangerous situation when you get a hold of that face mask and you're turning on it. And watch Narson stop, great drop, steps up, good, nice, give himself somewhere to throw the ball, finds the receiver, great catch, and just gets a hand in there. Looks accidental, not intentional, but guys got in a little scuffle.
And here comes Gilbert on the first down carry as he gets it down to the 20-yard line, and it'll be 2nd and 5 in the best field position that the Raiders have had all night.
Yeah, the Raiders have been their own worst enemy here, throwing interceptions and not being in the right position to make plays. But Bergner's defense has had a lot to do with that. They seem to have scouted Skyline well, and they're taking away what Skyline likes to do best, is the quarterback running and those timing patterns.
Norris, the Raiders, 2nd and 5. Gilbert to carry around the left side. He gets hit, breaks the tackle, and gets pushed out of bounds near the 15-yard line.
Yeah, this time to get a little bit of a push on the right side or the left side of the Skyline offensive line. Good blocking here, breaks a tackle. That's the thing that you have to do when you're struggling. You don't get all the blocks you want to get. You have to make plays on your own, and that time Love makes a play to get outside.
Gilbert, number 12, is only a junior, so Skyline will have him back in the lineup next year. Stands at 5'9", 185 pounds. Here's the 8th play of the Skyline drive. From the Rams 16-yard line, it'll be Gilbert on the carry again, and he dives across the 15 down to the 13.
And again, he adjusted his running lane. He was looking to go to his left, but very quick recognition back. Sees the opening, gets back on the right side, gets those shoulders square, and gets upfield. Nice game.
So a little spark of light coming together for the Skyline Raiders, a drive that started at their own 36-yard line, and now they're inside the Ram 15 with a 1st and 10, and can gain another 1st and 10 before they take it into the end zone. Here's Norris. This time he fakes to Gilbert, and he'll roll out to the right side, and he'll get inside to the 10, and he gets a big pop by number 21, Wesley Nakwasa, and a flag at the end of the play.
Might have been a little bit of taunting. Again, the referees have really tightened up the calls as the game was kind of getting out of hand a little bit in the first half, and they really come out in the second half and try to retake control of the game. I'm not sure, but I know I saw Chinaza. Was it Chinaza that hit him over there? Or 20?
Yeah, no, it was Nakwasa.
Nakwasa that hit him out of bounds. A little bit of taunting, talking to him.
And this is something that's going to drive Coach Ledford nuts. in command of this game, 31-0, and now some big defensive mental mistakes.
Well, they said that Norris could run, but he's getting up the field pretty good. But Naquasa comes over and gets him out of bounds and gives him a little verbal abuse as he's getting up.
Here's a Raider, 1st and goal. Gilbert gets the ball, but he slides down and he'll lose a yard on the carry.
Well, it looks like he was trying to do something that the human body is not made to do on that one. He was headed full forward, full steam, and almost in the same motion tried to reverse. You watch, he's going pretty good, and he slips just a slide on the turf over there as he's trying to get outside.
This Astro grass is great for preventing injuries to ankles and knees, but you saw some of the black dirt-like substance come up. That's ground up tires and sand that this synthetic turf is planted in. It's great, but you don't have a lot of grab like you do on the old turf. Here we go on 2nd down. Norris to throw in the end zone. Beautiful defensive play by number 12, Parks, as the pass was intended for Swanson. A huge play by Keller Parks.
Yeah, just a little bit underthrown. If Norris gets a little bit more on that ball, that's a touchdown, as he's running open in the end zone. That's Swanson running open in the end zone. You watch, he's getting good protection as the defensive line now respecting the run some. This ball is just behind him and just gives the defensive back enough time to knock that ball down.
And now we'll have timeout called on the field by the Raiders. That'll be their 2nd timeout of the half, and they'll only have one more left in the game with 2:30 on the clock left in the 3rd quarter. 31-0 is the score. The Rams have been in command. Skyline is threatening, and the Rams defense seems to be stepping up to do the job.
Yeah, and for Skyline, you know they have a lot of juniors and a couple of sophomores on this team, so you want them to come out, if you're Coach Sample, come out and have some success. That's you're building you have a program. You're not building just for this year. This game looks like it might be out of reach, so you're already coaching now for next year. You're coaching your sophomores, you're coaching your juniors to keep making that effort. That's what championship teams do, and they've come out and they've looked pretty good on this drive.
No matter what the circumstances, you never give up. Right now, facing a 3rd, and it appears to be about 7 to score. You would expect that the Raiders, if they don't make it on the 3rd down play, they're not going to go for the field goal. They're going to try for it on 4th down. And the Berkner Rams on their feet, as well as the Raider fans across the field. Norris in the backfield from Gilbert gets a little pat on the head and says, "Let's go, buddy." And here we go. Norris rolls out the left side. It's a block from Gilbert. Now cuts back opposite direction. Jukes and jives, but doesn't even make it to the 5-yard line.
Not sure what that play was intended to do. I mean, he's got one receiver on this side, and there are a lot of black jerseys in the throwing lanes over here. Norris just rolls to his left. He has one receiver over here. He's now already passed him. Now he's looking back. He's looking to run. It looks like they were just intended to spread the defense and let Norris make a play, but that's a tough 7 yards for a quarterback to make pretty much on his own.
Yeah, and he met Jared Lund, and he said, "Hello." And Lund had that big 1st quarter interception to get the Rams going, and we've got another interception, and we're going to go the other way. Excuse me, the interception by Paris on the tip. Excuse me, that's number 9, not number 8. That's Calvin Rubles. A 3rd interception by the Rams, and they keep the Raiders out of the end zone and keep them scoreless.
Well, even if that ball gets past the line of scrimmage, when somebody gets a hand on it, if the linebacker gets a hand on it, that's well covered. You got to throw that ball over the top, and just not a good night for Norris. Looks like he's had a couple of passes tipped and intercepted, and just not having a good night throwing the ball for Skyline.
23-yard return by Rubles, and here's Josh Johnson on a first down carry. He'll pick up another first down as he brings it out to the Ram 39 with 1:27 in the third.
Boy, and this Berkner's offense is like a shark smelling blood. They go out, they see or sense that this team is a little bit dejected. Their effort may be sinking a little bit, and they want to get the ball in the end zone and score some more points.
And the clock winds down to a minute in the third quarter, and the Rams in command as the defense has stepped up to the plate. Justin Johnson gets nowhere on the option, maybe a yard.
Yeah, that offensive line has worked hard all night. They're starting to sub a few guys in on the offensive line. Number 74 for Berkner coming into the game. And this, again, is just Justin Johnson getting outside. This time, the Skyline offense respects Justin Johnson, trying to get him to make a play, pitch it to somebody else. At least you get a stop on Johnson.
Most likely, this will be the last play of the third quarter. Second down for the Rams. Justin Johnson to carry. And he'll be lucky if he gets 1 yard. As the clock winds down, now under 20 seconds in the third.
Yeah, and you know, this is what you have to do on this defense or playing this offense. You have to stop that first option, the fullback. You gotta stop him in his tracks. Let the other guys take care of their business. But the problem is, you know, Josh Johnson's a pretty good football player. He's a good running back, and so is Justin. So both of them put quite a bit of pressure on the defense.
So after 3, the Rams are in command on top of the Raiders, 31-0. The fourth coming your way right after this.
Chris, come on. Where's your mom?
Working late again.
Wanna watch TV?
Okay.
Hey, something really good on.
Cool.
Now you can be mom, even when you can't be there.
It's like not working.
Oh, that? It's working.
Parental control. Another way Comcast Digital Cable makes life a little cooler.
Jeff Tokar, Herman Graham Chapman, and the Comcast Sports crew. Even though the score may not show it, it's been a thriller here tonight. The Rams leading the Raiders 31-0. And you know, Herman, the Raiders have some great defensive players. They've got Michael Morgan, who is the number 4 area recruit. He's not committed to any college yet, but he's looking potentially at going to USC, maybe Oklahoma, Florida State, Michigan, or Texas A&M. And on the third down play, Josh Johnson carries and works his way out towards midfield and another first down, but he'll be short. And then they've got the cornerback, Roderick Rollins, who is committed to Boston College because he thinks the ACC is the best conference in the nation. So they've got some strong players and some big recruits out there. Things just aren't working for them here tonight.
Yeah, and that was really timely, Jeff, as that was Michael Morgan on that play, number 17, hitting Josh Johnson, who took on Michael Morgan and gained another 3 or 4 yards. So those are 2 tough kids.
Here's 4th and 1, and check this out. He's done everything else tonight. He's been a running back, a receiver, a quarterback. Here's Justin Johnson punting the ball, and he does a great job as he boots it down to the Skyline 20-yard line where it goes out of bounds.
He is a tremendous athlete. Justin Johnson is going to make some coach happy in a couple of years. He still has another year here at Berkner, but he's an exceptional athlete.
So he gets a 28-yard punt, a 38-yard punt. And what else is he going to do tonight? We need to see him in here on defense.
And you talk about players, this Berkner squad, there are a lot of kids that have come through here. They're slowly building a really great traditional power here. Quite a few kids playing Division I college and Division 1AA college football that have come through Berkner.
11:06 in the game, a commanding lead. The Rams on top of Skyline, and here's the pass out from Norris to Cole for about a 6-yard gain.
few of those names. Ajib Talib, Kansas, defensive back. Nick Wackler, as we watch the replay, as Norris gets the ball outside, seems like it gets touched. Great move on the edge over there by 84, the receiver, Wayne Cole. Makes a little move, gets some additional yardage. But quite a few kids. Andrew Ross is at Henderson State. Aldrich Jesse's at A&M Kingsville. Bobby Brooks is Central Oklahoma. Jason Lamb's at Baylor. Trey Bryan is at Baylor. Chad Kugler's at Texas. Quincy Williams, Louisiana Lafayette. The list goes on and on, Jeff.
Here's Norris on the keeper, and he gets nowhere as there's a shirt tackle made by Murray. Actually, may have lost yardage, Herman.
Norris, he's been intent on running the ball, except the difference in Skyline running the ball and Berkner running the ball, Berkner's plays are set up for the quarterback to run, and Skyline seems to not have that kind of presence as far as blocking for Norris. He seems to be more just running on his instincts.
It seems like the Berkner defense has gotten them out of their game, as on third down they try to pass out to Swanson and it goes over his head and out of his reach, and so now it'll be fourth down.
And Norris doesn't get a lot of pressure, except those tall, rangy defensive linemen are always there, so he's adjusting for those arms that have been in his throwing lanes all night.
This Berkner defense has just put all the pressure on and just frustrated Norris and his offense, and I think that's been the key. Here's De La Rosa to punt. Johnson back to receive at his own 39, and De La Rosa gets off a good punt, and the coverage is there, and they'll let the ball roll inside the 35, where it'll be marked for play at the 33 with 9:28 in the game. It's a 53-yard punt by De La Rosa, and that has to be his best of the evening.
Yeah, now you got to start thinking, if you're Berkner, about maybe getting your starters out. You got this one kind of put away. You don't want anything to happen to anyone to spoil your chances next week. And Berkner will play the winner of the Mesquite-Rowlett game, which will be played at Ford Stadium on SMU's campus tomorrow. So they'll have a tough opponent next week, either Mesquite or Rowlett.
And I presume here now the Rams will keep the ball on the ground, as they do most of the time. Josh Johnson on the carry, back to the line of scrimmage, and the clock will run.
Yeah, this is a time in the game where you want your players to keep their cool, keep playing hard, and you want that clock to run. You don't want penalties. You're not going to take any risk as far as pitching the ball deep and wide, as Justin Johnson was doing on an earlier drive. You want that clock to keep running and keep moving downfield.
11 seconds on the play clock as Justin Johnson keeps his eye on it to run everything out. Here comes the pitch. It comes back over to Phillips, and Phillips gets pushed out of bounds at the 30. Let's say the 32.
Yeah, this is just a reverse or an outside pitch, and you're not going to outrun Skyline to the edge. I mean, you can make plays inside the tackles and just off the edge, kind of running, those push plays off the tackle. But just to outrun them to the outside, it's going to be real tough.
Phillips actually lost 2 yards on the play. This will be 3rd and 12 for the Rams. And here's the fake pitch to Phillips. Johnson rolls out on the right side and throws, but it's way over the head of his intended receiver, Scourton, and we've got a flag on the play.
Yeah, and that time Justin Johnson took a pretty good shot from Liddell Love, 6'2", 200-pound defensive end for Skyline. But Justin Johnson, again, he's a tough kid. He took the hit and still delivered the ball, got up, didn't say anything, and he's a kind of a championship quality kid.
And we'll have holding called against Skyline, and that'll give Berkner another shot at 3rd down.
And you see the shoulders of the Skyline players kind of sagging. They're, you get into the playoff, you're excited, you have all that energy, and just hasn't worked out for them. They've made some errors on offense that cost them some points, and it's just been a struggle for them all night as Berkner has had their way on both sides of the ball.
And here's another penalty that cost them. It'll be holding on a receiver, and because of that, it's a 10-yard penalty and an automatic first down, so they give the Rams more breathing room. Justin Johnson on a pass to Winfrey coming out of the backfield. I don't know if I'd call that a lateral, even though it was behind the quarterback, but he threw it like a pass. And Winfrey comes around the left side and gets a Ram first down in Skyline territory.
He is using all the tools tonight. He's just determined to make this pitch. That's a great effort to get it over there. That's a deep, wide throw over there. Yeah, that's a forward pass, but it's a lateral because it's behind the line of scrimmage and it's behind him. So he is pulling all the tricks out tonight.
Another 1st and 10 for the Rams with 8 minutes to go in the game. Here's the carry by number 17 of the Rams, and that's Darren McClure. First time we've seen him with the ball tonight, the 6'1", 208-pound senior.
They have McClure listed as a linebacker, and he's a senior, and he runs the offense in the second part. You watch him, he's a good-sized kid, and I guess Coach Ledford said after he saw Justin make that last pitch or pass or whatever it was, yeah, that's pretty good, son. That's enough. Come on out.
So McClure will be the quarterback for the Rams. Here's the second time he's handled the ball. He handles up the middle to Josh Johnson, and he'll be close to another first down.
Yeah, Josh Johnson, well over 100 yards. He was at 120 yards at the half, so he's well over 100 yards. He just keeps pounding. I guess Coach Ledford said, hey, he's just a sophomore. He's young. He's strong. He's got a lot of energy still left in those legs, so let's keep him honest. You probably trust him with the ball. Very good hands kid, and not going to fumble that ball.
And Coach Jim Ledford and these Rams, it doesn't matter the score. It's playoff time. It's postseason. They're going to continue to drive, albeit with the backup quarterback, McClure, in command.
Yeah, that offensive line, they've changed out a little bit. I see 74 in there for Berkner. That's Andrew Johnson. Well, he started the game, so still the first-string offensive line in there.
New cadence with a new quarterback, and that may have pulled the Raiders off sides, but it can also have caused the offensive line to jump. We'll wait and see on the call.
Well, I like it. McClure's listed as a linebacker, and he's back there behind the center taking the snap. He's a tough kid. He was running like he knew what he was doing with that ball on that play.
The penalty will go against the Raiders and move it into their territory deeper down to their own 24, and they've suffered great losses on penalties tonight. I can't remember. I'll ask our statistician, Bruce Wiseman. I think Berkner only had one penalty tonight. Is that true? Two penalties. Thank you, Bruce. So they've done a great job managing the ball and in control of themselves here tonight, as Skyline has just had a multitude of penalties that have cost them greatly. McClure will carry, and he works his way down to the 20-yard line, and he picks up about 4 yards on the carry.
Yeah, McClure has good size. He's a strong-looking kid. Plays linebacker. You know he's strong. He runs like a linebacker as he's stiff-arming guys left and right. You know, there are a couple of other teams that we've covered this year, Jeff, in the playoffs. Plano is at Texas Stadium. If you have time, they didn't start till 9 o'clock out there. They're playing DeSoto. If you want to go, right out there.
Big game. Be a late nighter. You can still make it. Of course, not by the time you watch this telecast. Here's the fake. No, the give to DeBoer up the middle, number 14. And he gets shoved back, but they'll give him forward progress at the 20, so there'll be no gain on the play.
And now the main thing for Berkner is to keep that clock running. McClure, he's the backup quarterback. You don't want him to make a mistake here. 31-0. That's a good effort on both sides of the ball. You're working now to get some guys some experience for next year, and also some kids who may still be able to help in the playoffs.
But he's doing a great job. I watch him, and he's focused on that play clock. Watch when he comes to the line here. That's what he's looking at. He wants that thing to get down as far as he can safely without being called for a delay of game. Here's the fake pitch. Handoff on the left side. And it looked like, let me catch his number, Winfrey. No, it's number 4 in the game, and that'll be Nick Thomas. And he's just a sophomore, as once the JV season ends, they suit out all the sophomores. They're here tonight, a bunch of black jerseys on the sideline.
Well, if you watch the offensive line that time, number 74, Andrew Johnson, he's a senior. He's 5'10", 293 pounds. He just caved in that side of the line.
And there's a flag on the play, and it goes again against Skyline, half the distance to the goal. The ball will be inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line.
Well, you know, Skyline comes into this game with great expectations. They're a playoff team. They fought to get to this point in the season. They have a lot of pride. Obviously, they're hurt. They're doing some things on the field that reflects their frustration.
4:55 in the game. Nabor with the fake up the middle, and it'll be McClure on the carry. And he gets shoved back for a loss out towards the 10-yard line. But he stays in bounds, so the clock will continue to click.
Yeah, Skyline fight for anything positive they can get, trying to strip that ball, trying to keep Berkner out of the end zone. Oh my, that's you don't like to see a kid turn over on his head like that. That's kind of dangerous to hurt yourself. But you just want to, if you're Skyline, you just want to have something positive here going into the end of the game.
Coach Reginald Samples has done a great job with this team. Another quarterback now in, Jonathan Bowman. And Bowman working the offense now. The Rams will push it back inside the 5-yard line where they'll have a 3rd down. Reginald Samples, the coach of Skyline, they've had a great season. He's got some good juniors coming back next year, and I presume we'll probably see them again. Went 7-3 on the season, had a great season. And just because of the showing tonight, don't take reflection of what kind of year they had. They've had a great year, and we expect them to be back. Here's play number 11 for the Rams. Bowman with 3:32 on the clock in the game, and there's a little miscue between him and the center, so he holds on to the ball as he dives close to the goal line. He'll be down to the 2-yard line where they will have 4th and goal, and I'm sure they'll just keep running it here, because if they turn it over, Skyline will have it deep in their own territory.
Well, Berkner still has most of that first-string offensive line in the ball game. I saw Brent Mark Hughes still out there, and Andrew Johnson. Looks like they've made a couple of subs. Number 70 in the ball game is offensive lineman Abdur Taylor. They're still moving the ball with the second unit offense.
Here comes Bowman on the pitch, and into the end zone is Winfrey. And that'll be a 3-yard or 2-yard touchdown for number 1, Winfrey. And the Rams continue to put points on the board.
Well, you know, that's a positive for that kid going into the rest of the playoffs and into next season. He'll have something to build on. Hey, man, I scored a touchdown in a playoff game.
So Alex Winfrey, 5'9", 165-pound junior, gets to make his contribution tonight. And now we have the kick by Paris, and he's good tonight as they give the kicker a break and let him have a shot at it. And so now it's 38-0 Rams.
Yeah, this is Winfrey's first touchdown. Good decision on the option by Bowman, the quarterback. Winfrey gets outside. He has good speed. Beats Skyline to the end zone.
Hey, you can't see this on a dish. This is a local service provided exclusively by Comcast. Tonight's cablecast of this high school game is intended solely for the audience in the cablecast area of Comcast. Any other uses of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of Comcast and the Richardson Independent School District is strictly prohibited. So the Rams, even with their second team players, are able to continue to move the ball into the end zone. They've got a 38-0 lead on top of Skyline, of which they defeated last year in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and again, this is a school that's building a great tradition. Skyline has had some runs in the playoffs in earlier years, but Berkner, there have been some players who ended up in the pros that have come through Berkner. Toby Cecil, who's currently center with the St. Louis Rams. An old guy I'm pretty familiar with, Everson Walls, who played his college football at Grambling and also played with the Cowboys and the Giants. Patrick McIntosh, who's a Tampa Bay defensive lineman. So a lot of talented kids coming through this Berkner football program.
A low kick by Paris. It'll be picked up by Rollins, and Rollins finds some running room up out across the 30-yard line, out to the 35, and he's turning around. It looks like he was going to try the old Cal State, looking for someone to pitch to, but nobody was there. And he gets taken down. Excuse me, I think that's Redmond that was actually the ball carrier. And it was a 30-yard return out to the 35.
He has good speed. He broke through that first layer of coverage team and got outside. Berkner has pretty good speed, too. They chased him down, took away his angle, and he decided to try to turn it around and go the other direction. But the posse showed up for Berkner as they corralled him, got him down.
And now they'll make a host of substitutions on defense for the Rams here with 2:31 in the game. The snap is low, but it's picked up by Norris. He throws deep, and it's over the head of his intended receiver, Cole, and we've got a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it looks like there's still some extracurricular stuff going on the field. This is well away from the play. Not sure. I was looking downfield to see what the receiver was doing, so we'll check this call. But, the referees really got control of this game in the second half as it was trying to get out of control in that first half.
And the receiver looks like he stumbled under his own account. Now we'll see what Bobby Dixon has to say. That's got to be the third or fourth unsportsmanlike penalty called on the Raiders tonight.
Boy, and Norris didn't really get a lot of help from his offensive protection that time. He's just letting guys flow through, and he's trying to show off his arm. Throws it down there, gives his receiver an opportunity to go get it. He must trust Cole's speed because he seemed to have thrown it out there to him a couple of times.
Norris to throw again. Looks to Cole. Cole had a hand on it, but it goes awry, and now we'll have a second down and 25.
Yeah, Berkner, even with the second-string defensive line, is getting pressure, just coming right up the middle. Not good footwork by the offensive line of Skyline as they're letting the Rams just pour through to put pressure on Norris when it's forcing him to not be able to have the lane to throw in. He's just been frustrated all night.
Norris working on second down and long. Looks across the middle for Tuck. And Tuck stumbled as he tried to get out to the ball. And now it's third down and long.
Yeah, and interesting. Berkner's still blitzing here late in the game. Sometimes, it's a thing where you don't kind of lay back and let them come at you. But Berkner still has that mentality. Hey, you're trying to score on us. We're going to come after you. We're going to blitz and make you uncomfortable. Even late in the game with a 38-0 lead.
Skyline has to go 25 yards for a first down. And, of course, they'll throw, and all the pressure is there. And it's a huge sack back to the 10-yard line. So with just over 2 minutes, as the clock continues to wind, the Rams will get the ball once again deep in Raider territory.
Yeah, and interesting. I see Ugo Chinazi out on the field. They're looking to go try to block this punt. I guess you probably just have one punt coverage team, and that's the one that's out there, and you got some of your first-string guys out there. So, Berkner's still in that championship mode, trying to get as much as they can here.
Here comes De La Rosa's punt, and it'll get a bounce across midfield inside the 45 to the 43-yard line, and that's where the Rams will have a 1st and 10, a 53-yard punt from De La Rosa.
Well, you got to be impressed with Berkner's offense and defensive play tonight. They seem to have what it takes, Jeff, to win that championship. They, I don't see any weaknesses now. I mean, we saw them earlier in the year. They did have some chinks, so to speak, in the armor as far as the defense. We saw Lake Highlands give them a tough game. Pierce scored some points on them. But here tonight, they've just been really well coached, well prepared, and they've executed both offensively and defensively like champions.
Number 13, the quarterback, Jonathan Bowman, for the Rams as they change things up. And here comes Winfrey, who scored on the last drive, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 49. And the clock continues to wind down, even though he was pushed out of bounds. They're not going to stop the clock.
Yeah, mercifully it keeps running, and I'm sure the Skyline coaches are not upset. Time to get them on the bus and thank them for a great season, great effort, fought with a lot of pride. They had some problems with penalties, but that's frustration. Coaches understand that, but you want to play with effort and pride all the time.
2nd and 4. Here's Bowman. Maybe he'll take a knee. And he fakes the handoff to Nabor and dives across the 50-yard line, close to another first down. And we've got another flag.
Yeah, and if there was a game next week, I don't know if that kid would be in it. He's, extra swing after the play, just totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary.
And we get another foul called, a dead ball foul against the Raiders.
Yeah, you watch here as Bowman gets outside. He's down, and here's watch the punch there. There it is, just unnecessary. I mean, not a malicious kind of a thing, but just a frustration kind of a thing.
And that the Rams have done to Skyline tonight. Last year, if I remember correctly, the score was 24-14, but this year is just a blowout, as the Rams will take a knee and not take any chances of any more tempers going up here. So the Berkner Rams deny Skyline 2 years in a row from advancing in the playoffs in a big win here tonight against them at the Boneyard.
Yeah, this would be a by-district championship here for Berkner. They've looked impressive. They came into this game ranked number 4 in the area. They looked very much like the number 4 area-ranked team as they took Skyline apart on both sides of the ball, and now can look forward to going further in the playoffs.
Last year, the Rams made it to the second round where they were beat by Carter. Their goal is to get at least past that second round and further this year, and we'll just have to see where they can go. We'd like to thank our crew, our wonderful Comcast crew at the end of the telecast tonight. Please stay tuned and watch all those names as they scroll by, because those are the fantastic people that do the great job bringing you the game each week and brought it to you here tonight. We'd like to thank our Comcast Sports crew. We'd like to thank our schools and the coaches, Jim Ledford at Berkner and Reginald Samples at Skyline. We'd like to thank the Richardson Athletic Director, Bob Doobie, and his assistant, Leslie Slovak, and all their help in letting us broadcast these games here. This year, Herman, it's been a great year.
It's been an awesome year. We've seen a lot of great teams. A lot of those teams that we saw are in the playoffs. They're making their run. Who knows? Out of those teams that we covered, Jeff, we may get one champion, maybe two. You never know. But this team here, the Berkner Rams, I have to say, is the most impressive team that I saw all year, and they have an excellent chance to win a state championship.
And that it is a great year. So congratulations to Jim Ledford, and the Berkner Ram football team streak continues. For the first time in the 36-year history of the school, they went 10-0 in the district, and now their first playoff win, 11-0 on the season. We're sure glad you joined us this year on Comcast Sports. We hope you've enjoyed it and hope you'll come back and be with us again next time. So from the Boneyard Ram Wildcat Stadium, the Berkner Rams defeat the Skyline Raiders in the first round of high school football playoffs, 38-0. This is Jeff Tokar for Herman Graham Chapman and the entire Comcast Sports crew, telling you until next time, so long.
You get the power to control live TV with DVR and more local high-definition broadcast networks than satellite. All with Comcast Digital Cable. TV is now on your terms.